Again, welcome to today's Academy Live webcast, the Lead to Close process, leveraging Microsoft Dynamics CRM and Azure partners. Today we have Brad Kuntz, Product Manager with Customer Effective, Brett Thompson, Co-founder of CoreMotives. We have Chris Tully, Professional Services Consultant with Expertdoc, and Larry Torrey, Vice President of Sales at AssureSign. Brad, you now have the floor.
Thank you, Kathy. Welcome again, everybody, to today's Academy Live presentation. Today we're going to do a lead to close demo. And of course, everyone, most of the people here, looks like you are Microsoft CRM users, so you're probably very familiar with the platform that we're talking about. What we've assembled here is a team of subject matter experts that are really going to help us kind of walk through this process and really learn how we can leverage these technologies using the Microsoft CRM platform to really become more productive and really drive real business value out of your process improvement. Kathy, can I get a forward on that slide?
Absolutely.
Thank you. My forward button is not working. So on today's agenda, starting out, like I said, we are focused here on a Microsoft CRM platform, and all of these other technologies that we're talking about work inside of Microsoft CRM. And what we're going to walk through today is a lead to close scenario. So we're going to start with Rhett, and he's going to explain about some CoreMotives functionality that's going to allow us to capture these leads, get those into CRM. Then within CRM, we can leverage the opportunity management features that we have. And then we're going to create some documents with Xpertdoc, and these are going to be automated document creation that we can then send back out to our former lead, but soon to be customer, leveraging AssureSign and some of the technologies there. And I think that once you kind of see this from beginning to end, you can kind of see how Microsoft CRM really can add real business value and really leverage all these technologies for true business process improvement. Okay, if we could advance the slide. So we're going to do just some quick company introductions. First of all, my name again is Brad Kuntz. I'm with Customer Effective, and we are a Microsoft CRM only partner, meaning that we are in the business of implementing and selling Microsoft CRM and any associated technologies with that. We started back in 2002 with the release of version 1.2, so we've been around since the very beginning of this. We currently have just over 85 team members. Like I said, we have a 100% focus on Microsoft CRM and how we can leverage that platform to improve productivity, improve business processes. We've got over 1,000 successful projects, and that's what we do. We've worked very closely with the other three organizations here, and so I'm going to hand it now over to Larry, I believe, and he's going to tell you about AssureSign.
Great, thank you, Brad. Yes, this is Larry Torrey. And AssureSign is a leading provider of electronic signatures integrated with Microsoft applications. Now, today we're going to talk about our integration with Microsoft Dynamics CRM, but we also integrate with other Microsoft applications. We're headquartered in Orlando, Florida, founded in 1998 as a spinoff from a third-party verification company called 3PV, where we've done verbal agreements and verbal contracts. But collectively, we've done over 160 million unique signature events. We're always asked, how do we know that what's being signed is compliant or is legally binding? And there's two pieces of legislation, the eSign Act and UEDA. eSign is federal, UEDA are state requirements, and our application is compliant with both of those pieces of legislation. We deploy in the Azure cloud, either in our Azure deployment or it could be in a customer's own private Azure deployment, and we also deploy on-premise. We sit on the Microsoft stack being deployed in .NET. We are, in our SaaS environment, we're SSAE 16 or SaaS 70 certified, PCI, and provide uptime service levels at 4 nines. And our pricing models are pretty straightforward, pay-as-you-use type pricing models. And with that, I'll introduce Rhett Thompson.
Hi, okay, this is Rhett Thompson. Could I get the slide advance, please? Okay, so I'm with CoreMotives. I'm one of the founders of CoreMotives, and we have a marketing automation solution for people that use Microsoft Dynamics CRM. What our product does is helps people communicate with existing customers or potential customers in a variety of ways, whether it be through email or maybe you're doing social media, your own website, things like that. We give you the ability to detect people's engagement with your messaging and target them and really take that entire marketing process down into a sales scenario. So that's part of what is so exciting about what we will talk through today. It's really that normal business flow from the attraction and interest all the way down through the action process of purchasing. So over 1,400 Microsoft Dynamics CRM owners use our product around the world in 35 countries, and I personally have been working with Microsoft CRM since version 1.0 and have executed marketing campaigns all over the world. So we're very familiar with Microsoft CRM. We know exactly what it's like to try and execute campaigns out of CRM, and then I'll pull that through the entire sales process. So I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Hey, Kathy, if you want to just go to the Xpertdoc slide, thanks. Hi, folks. This is Chris Tully, and welcome. We're very excited to show you this demonstration. Expertdoc is a document output and document automation provider. We have a best-in-class solution that really is leveraging many of the Microsoft technologies that you'd be familiar with, such as Dynamics CRM, Microsoft Word. As well, we have out-of-the-box integration with AssureSign, as you'll get to see firsthand today. And really what this does using these very common, ubiquitous applications is allows us to have a very easy-to-adopt, familiar, and user-friendly package that really enhances the productivity. And we're putting the document output where it's going to be used and where it's needed. And that's in areas such as Microsoft Dynamics CRM, right where your users need it, as opposed to having to sort of scramble to get their document output needs met. I think, Kathy, if you want to move on, I think we're actually going to go back to Rhett to kick off the live demonstration for us.
Go ahead, Rhett, if you want to connect to your desktop.
Okay, will do. Okay, so you should be seeing my desktop, and we have an environment here of Microsoft CRM 2011 that we will be demonstrating this process through today. But let me just start with a little bit of background. I think that one thing I wanted to do is pull up something to illustrate a little bit about this. That most of us as business people, marketers, need to try and put a message out to the public, and we do this in a variety of different ways. It could be on our website. It could be through social media. That's something that's new to all of us. It's becoming more and more popular. Everyone's trying to understand, how should I be playing within that sphere? And I think most of it comes down to what's the yield? What can I get out of that type of an effort? And this illustration here is really designed to just show all of the different ways that us as marketers spend money. And the engagement that I'm showing here, the ultimate engagement is the dollar sign. Now, if you're a nonprofit, it could be a bit different in terms of many other things, but the point is still the same, that whether you use AdWords, whether you use email, video, different things such as this, you really want to be able to understand, what's actually happening and are people engaged with that message. We have a term here that we call behavioral marketing, because it's We come from a world where email marketing over the past 10 or so years was really kind of that was the way that you would get out in front of people, but now things are very, very different. And not only do you want to be able to send out mass messages to your market and have them personalized, but beyond that, you really want to know, okay, did these people visit my website as a result of that message or other messages? And if so, how did they behave once they got there? Did they look at things that would indicate their interest in purchasing our product, such as maybe a video of our product, or maybe they click on a download of some kind, or submit a form to look at a white paper? It could be any number of different things that would be indicative of a person's interest. And so what we've come up with here is a way to leverage Microsoft Dynamics CRM through this process and really have the people that are engaged the most sort of bubble up to the top. So there are several core components of our product. I've only got a few minutes, so I'll just sort of touch on a few of them that cover the process. So one of those would be like tracking clicks. And so a very common way that people begin a search for a product or service is through the web. And so you want to be able to track when are people doing that, when are they landing on your assets, and then score that behavior and trigger messages back to them and nurture them through that entire process. So one of the examples that I often give leverages a typical way that someone would exercise that type of behavior. So if I just, I could use Bing as one example. And, you know, a lot of times people will, let's just say if it's for CoreMotives. So people might do a search like I just did, and I actually misspelled that search, but that's a pretty good example of how to do it. So if someone does a search for a particular product or service, obviously you want them to land on, you know, your own assets, but then you'd love to know, okay, did they do that? And maybe, as I was describing earlier, maybe you would want to have enticing items such as videos or PDF downloads or a variety of other things about which kinds of people are currently using your product. So this is an illustration of how people might go through that process. And so some of the people that use our product to do these things are listed on the screen here, like Weight Watchers or the New York Jets as a football team. A lot of other smaller companies use our product too throughout this. And what they actually get is they get information right back into Dynamics CRM on how those people are behaving. So the example that I wanted to put forth to you is using something similar to what I was just showing. But when people behave in a certain way, or you drive them to some sort of a landing page, that's what we often call it in marketing, and that landing page example is something that I've built here, and I've built a pretty simple one to show, and I'm using our all of us that are in the Microsoft space, our favorite Contoso example. So let me just take this through so that I can get this prepped up to hand off to the next guys as they take us through this process. But we're working with a lead here named Adrian at a company named A-Store, and I can just put in a simple example here. Okay, so this is an example of a landing page. It's very simple. It just has a logo on it, but it could have a number of different things, like it could have PDFs or videos, and as people are clicking on a PDF to download that or watching a video, all of that interaction is going to be stored inside Microsoft Dynamics CRM. So here is a landing page that's been built with the CoreMotives solution right inside CRM, and I'll show you how that's done in just a moment. But let me just go ahead and submit this form so this can process on into Microsoft CRM. So the way that form is created is right inside CRM. If I move back to the dashboard and I click on Marketing, then I've got a section here that's called Landing Pages. This demo environment has a few different examples in it. It's got the landing page that you and I are just looking at. It's also got that thank you page that can happen upon submission. You may want a variety of different things to happen as people do sign up for things on your website. So that scenario that I just gave about filling out the contact form and how that contact form looks. So this is actually how that's done in CRM. We've got a very simple way to create this where we put in a first name field and a company. Now the form piece is very essential because you really want to get the people that are interested in your product or service directly in the CRM, and that's precisely what this is doing. But another thing that you want to do is to nurture those people forward. So what we have here to support that process is a scenario of actions that would happen upon someone behaving in a certain way. Now in this particular case, on the form that I'm showing, the one that I just filled out, we've got two autoresponders, and then a follow-up activity, and then an internal email notification. So all of these things fire off when someone fills out a form. So notice that I've got the ability here to select from different nurture campaigns that I want, and I want the first one to go out 1 minute after someone submits that form, and then I've got another one here that goes out 3 days later. And then if I wanted to add one more, I simply would move over and add the third one, and I might want that to go out 7 days later. So I think that you get the idea. These are pretty easy to build. But another thing I might want to happen is to support that internal process from a lead flow perspective, and that would be to create a follow-up phone call for my team. And so that's what we're doing here, and it's set to 1 minute, but that's maybe a little bit too quick. If someone submits a form a minute later, they get a phone call. It could be. I might just change that to 1 day and set that to the owner of that contact record. What's great about this is that this will automatically flow into CRM. It will be attached to this contact's CRM record. It will also be linked to the person's mobile phone and their Outlook via the integrations that are all just naturally part of the CRM product. So this is a great, simple way to incorporate engagement from your own marketing efforts, like my example was showing it across the web. And then as people fill out forms, that this flows into a central repository, your CRM system. It's nurturing, we're being nurtured forward here. And then our internal team is getting their own follow-up actions straight with that. So let me just bounce over to Adrian's contact record as I wrap up here. So here's Adrian's contact record. And we were filling out a few forms and some things like that on that contact record. So I can actually look down into specific things about this person's behavior, such as web behavior, email interaction behavior, scoring behavior, where we attribute scores to the different things that this person is doing, and let that bubble Adrian up to the top of the dashboard for our sales team, things like that. So let me just click on web sessions, and let me just, okay, that refreshed from when I had it open earlier from 3 to 4 web sessions. So we can see that last month Adrian had some activity, 2 pages viewed, and that left that open for quite a while. Then here's another one, 3 pages for 5 minutes, and then 10 pages for over an hour, and then you can see my own session there. So as I move through more pages, that duration counter starts to act up, and you can also see that the behavior is taking place in different locations, like in California and Atlanta, Georgia. This is all about one particular person, and it's really about being able to detect a person's interest and being able to action that with nurture marketing and internal follow-up routines to take this forward into the situation of a sales opportunity. So that's the next thing that we've got a great way from all of this behavior to roll this right over into a sales opportunity and continue that forward. So that's what I would like to now hand this off to the sales opportunity creation process and the quote and order and so forth.
Great, thanks, Fred. I'm just going to flip on over to share my desktop here and pick it up. So what I'm going to show you is really how there's such a natural fit between the document output capability that Xpertdoc introduces in conjunction with this process of managing our customer relationships. And as you think about moving through your customer engagements and relationships, there's going to be many points where you will want to interact with your customers or your prospects via some standard communication pieces, some standard documentation. And unfortunately, what we see in many cases is these types of communications are kind of haphazardly managed via, somebody pulling up an old email and changing an old version to for the next version, or calling your admin and hoping she can turn something around for you quickly. But this often means there's really little consistency, control, or regulation of these documents, and the output going to customers is very scattered and inconsistent. And what you need to remember is this is the communication that is really representing your organization. Now, since Dynamics CRM really does such a great job of modeling your customer relationships, it's a natural fit to introduce that ability to create documents, to create output for your customers right from within the application. So let's take a look at a couple of examples here. And if I'm picking up, if we think about moving on down our customer engagement or relationship cycle a little bit, what I'm in here is simply an account record. So I just simply picked this account that Adrian was affiliated with and launched the particular record in CRM. And what I want you to notice here is that we, right from within the UI for Dynamics CRM, I now have this additional option to create document output. So I'm just going to go ahead and move to that, and you'll notice that it's bringing up again just within the CRM UI. So there's no need to escape to a different system, no need to worry about integrating the data that's already in CRM with some sort of other means of producing a document. So I'm just within the context of this CRM account. And actually, for the first example here, I'm going to go ahead and produce a quote. So this has moved on to the point where we've entered some product information, and this particular account is interested in receiving a quote. So I've just, within this account, moved to my quote, and you can see there's a couple in here, and I'll just go ahead and select the first one. And it's going to launch this quote object. And again, you're going to see where my document output capability has been nested right within CRM. And I'll just move again in the interface to that. And you can see here, if you notice, there's different templates available. So this particular one, there's just two configured here, and I'm going to go ahead and use the default one. And what it's done is, associated with this template, I can create a little form or a little user entry prompt for information that maybe it's information that's very specific to the document output, so it's not necessarily information that I would gather in CRM. So things like, maybe do you want to include or exclude certain things? Do I want to include a logo? Or maybe there's a little custom message that you want to add to your document. So maybe in the spirit of the season, I'll put in here, Happy Holidays. And so once I'm satisfied with the template I've selected and any of the questions that may have been answered, I can go ahead here and generate this document. And what you have to understand is that behind the scenes, there's a facility within Xpertdoc to manage these templates, to create these templates, leveraging Microsoft Word. So we can create templates that will have the content, have links to our data, have business logic and rules within them that are enforcing all of the standards that I want to make sure that I'm presenting to customers. So let's go ahead and open this document that's generated, and pull it over here for you, and maybe just make it a little bit bigger. So let's just notice a few things. It's pulled in the quote number. So this is the CRM quote number that's been associated to this particular quote. It's pulled in the name of the contact on the account and the name of the account itself. Also, I had specified to include a logo. So it's dynamically pulling in this content based on how I've established my template and what information is stored within my CRM record. You can see here again, we're able to bring in logos and graphics. And then if I look a little further on down, again, this was a quote, so there was some product information associated with it. So it's actually pulled the quote details, so some pricing, some products, and put it in a nice little table here that I could present to my customers. There's lots of different types of content we can pull in. So you've seen images and graphics and tables. We also can do charts like you see here. So we've got a little pie graph or pie chart of the breakdown of the quote details here by product. One of the nice things, so because it is just in Microsoft Word at this point, if you did want your users to have some ability to customize it, so maybe today you don't like pie charts, but you wanted a cylindrical chart like this, you could simply change that, and it will automatically reflect in your document that you'd be preparing to send out. And then the last thing, there's my little happy holidays note at the end. So you can see that we're building content based on a template and dynamic information that we're providing as we're going through the processing of this particular document. Okay, so just taking a different step in looking at a different step in this evolution of this account. So we provided a quote, and maybe at a certain point in time where our customer is prepared to move forward, and we want to produce like an acceptance type document, so a little acceptance letter that will be executed and generated and executed by the appropriate parties. So I've just navigated to my account, and it's the same account we were on before. And you can see, if you noticed before, I had different letters available, or different documents available to me, and these again relate one-to-one to the templates that I've pre-configured in my Xpertdoc system to be available in corresponding entities within CRM. So let's pick a different one here. I'm going to pick this proposal acceptance. And again, I've got different information that I'm filling out because this particular document might have different needs as compared to other documents. So let's go ahead and put in, this is just going to be a little intro on the letter, acceptance for your review. And the name here has been pre-filled, so we've got our primary contact and our CRM user that's producing this letter already in here for us. Now you'll notice that there's one additional item here that I can optionally execute or turn off, and that's this is our trigger for our e-signature process. So I mentioned earlier that we have out-of-the-box integration with our AssureSign partner, and that's what's going to send our documents after it's been generated through the process of obtaining binding legal signatures from the parties who are required to sign them. So I'm going to leave that turned on and go ahead and generate this document. And so what it's doing behind the scenes here, within my template, I've not only configured a particular workflow for my e-signature, but I've specified who those recipients should be and where this document should go in terms of its e-signature processing. So what's going to happen is it's going to go ahead and generate a document. Actually, I'll pull it over onto this screen. And it's just a simple quote letter. And you can see again here it's referencing the same quote number that we had talked about before, got the basic information related to the account, pulled in the little subject title that I had typed in. But at the bottom of this document, you'll note that there is some blank spots left for some signatures to be put in. So it's pre-filled, some dates and some names, but you can see here that we have some blank spots for the signatures. And that's the perfect segue over to Larry, who is going to actually walk us through the details of the AssureSign e-signature process.
Great. Thank you, Chris. So let me grab a presentation here and share my desktop. So we're sort of the logical and last step in that sales process. So we've generated the lead, we've worked with the customer to generate a quote, the quote has been presented to them, and the deal really isn't done until it's signed. So we are the last and probably the most important part of the process because you don't get revenue until those documents are signed. So what Chris just did is send out an email to our friend Adrian, our customer Adrian, and the email you'll notice is coming from Acme Inc., the company trying to sell Adrian some widgets. and again, the email is customized and branded, so it came from Robert Hoover. That was our CRM user, and it's all customized in that email. So it does come from a trusted source. You see it came from Robert Hoover here, and the contents of that email, again, are customized and branded, so it doesn't look like it's coming from some independent third party. It does look like it's coming from that CRM user. So Robert Hoover, our CRM user, was probably just talking to Adrian and said, hey, I'm going to be sending you a document for approval and signature, so be on the lookout for it. So it does indeed come from that expected source. So what Adrian will do now at this point, it showed up in his email box, he will click on this link, the Begin Signing link, which will open the AssureSign application to collect his signature on the document. So what happens first when you've selected that Click to Sign button is a welcome page, and this is, again, all customizable and brandable. Here we're calling this the Lead to Close demonstration, but this could include your company's name. We've also, on this splash page, included the name of the company, and again, this could be your name of company. We've included a link to the company's website if you wanted to bring them somewhere outside of that, perhaps just to validate who it was that you're doing business with. And then we can continue to the signing process, and it's given them a little bit of help about what they will do, and we'll see these next three items as we move to the next page. So further extending the customization and branding, Acme is the company selling the services here. So leveraging that branding through the sales process so that, again, the signatory feels that they're still within the presence of the people that they're doing business with. And we land on this page, which is the ability to sign the document. The signatory is also presented with the ability to review the document. Part of eSign and UITA that I mentioned earlier is providing the ability to review the document before they sign it. So if I clicked on Review Document here, I will be opening it in a non-editable PDF. And I see this is that same document that Chris just showed us was generated by Xpertdoc with blank areas for signatures. So I review the document, and so as Adrian, I seem to be okay with it. I can close out of that and go back to this screen. If I didn't see something that I liked or I saw something I didn't like, I could click Send Feedback, and I could actually be sending feedback right back to Robert Hoover and perhaps saying, you know, you quoted me X dollars and it looks like it's a little bit different from what you said. Would you mind changing that and resending? The other thing is I could decline signing completely and provide feedback as to why I refused to sign the document. And again, all of these elements in the process are tracked. So in CRM, for example, you know whether this document has been under review either by clicking the review document or the sign document. And that's always a problem in the existing environment where you're sending PDF documents out to someone and you're waiting for them to sign them and send them back. We know through the electronic signature process and workflows, we know when they've opened the document, we know when the email has been sent and or opened, and all of that can be tracked within the CRM application as well. So no longer can someone say, hey, I never got that document to sign. So when they are ready to sign, they will click the Sign Document tab. The eSign Act and UITA say that both parties need to agree to conduct business electronically. As the sender, obviously, Acme has agreed to conduct business electronically, but the signatory needs to agree and comply. This is our standard messaging for United States eSign and UITA. We are compliant internationally, and this would be representative of the local jurisdiction and legislation for electronic signatures in whatever region you might be trying to get documents signed. So this is all, again, customizable and brandable, and you can include your own statements there if you like. But we'll go ahead and step through the signing process. Again, completely customizable and brandable. You see the Acme name used throughout here. I will click Next, or I could review the document. When the document's under review, the pages show up on the left, and you could step through those pages, and you'll see that I'll be signing here, and again, reviewing the document before you sign it. So I'll click Resume Signing. The AssureSign process takes you through much like a pen and paper process, and in this case, it's brought us right to where that signature location is. It's highlighted in yellow, and this happens to be a text-based signature. It's replicated the name, and that name came from the CRM database as the document was generated for signature. And if Adrian is indeed the signer, he can just simply click Next and approve that. If it was someone other than Adrian who was signing, this could be overridden, and a different name could be placed there. But we'll go ahead and confirm this and finish that step in the signing process. So Adrian is now completed. So that first step, the external signatory, has completed that signing process, and they're presented with this particular page saying that you've signed, and now there's another signatory in line to be signing before the document's completed. So I'll close out of this window, and at this stage as well, you could push them to different locations, maybe upselling them to something else. So I'll go back to my inbox, and unfortunately, I'm both Adrian and Robert Hoover, the CRM user. So now I will be Robert Hoover, and see I have, again, a personal email to me. There's also the ability to sign this within CRM, so it could come back through CRM workflow, and this link to signing could be presented within CRM. But I'll go ahead and be the secondary signatory, and we'll sign this document, and stepping through here as we did, and clicking Next. And this particular type of signature is a mouse-based signature. I'm actually using my standard mouse on my PC here to sign. And if I don't like what I'm signing, I can always clear it. And this could be any mouse-based device. It could be any handheld device using your finger. It could be a tablet. It could be a signature pad in a point-of-sale environment. We have virtually anything that resembles a signature device capability. So in a mobile signing environment, we recognize the type of browser that you've been presented, if the signature process has been presented to, and we adapt to that particular footprint so you can sign on just about anything. And the concept is any document, anywhere, anytime. So here we'll look at this completed document, and so as the signatory, I was given a link back to the completed document. The first signature, again, was a typewritten signature, so there's Adrian's signature represented here. This is a date and timestamp and IP address at which it was signed, a unique signature identifier, and then here is Robert's signature, again, date and timestamp and IP address of the signed document. So the signatory also received copies of those documents back, and if you recall, I was the signatory to both. So here are copies of those completed documents. The other thing that can happen is these documents could be sent via workflow established in AssureSign to anyone else who might need to be involved in the completion of the document. So if order management and order fulfillment needs to take hold and actually process the document that was just signed, so we're selling those things to Adrian and he's accepted them. If the order now needs to be placed, that could have been sent either via CRM workflow or AssureSign workflow out to the respective departments who might be taking that order forward. So now let's go back to CRM and go into our opportunity for Adrian. And under Notes and Attachments, we will see a completed document. Opened the wrong one. My apologies. We have a few that we've added to the database here. I've again selected the wrong one. Perhaps I need to refresh. Well, when good demos go bad. So my apologies. The document should have been pushed back into Dynamics, and I'm sure it has been, and I'm just not looking at picking the right one because we've got too many in there. But with that, I will close and open up to Q&A. So we've seen today how we can take a lead right from a web portal, someone visiting your website, tracking them through all of their visits in that website using and leveraging the CoreMotives application, then using Dynamics CRM to nurture and move that lead forward, turning it ultimately into an opportunity, then using Xpertdoc to dynamically and uniquely create a document or contract ready for a customer to sign. And then we've sent that document out for signature. The external parties and internal parties have signed the document, and the document is back into CRM, and we've completed that entire lead to close document scenario. So with that, I will open it up to questions. Any questions to any one of the four presenters?
Again, if you have a question, you can select the Q&A button at the top, type your question, and click Ask.
I have moved my Q&A, so I'm looking to see if there are any questions.
Sorry, folks. While we're waiting for that, this is Chris again. Sorry, I will bail Larry out on his on not finding the document. I'm actually going to share my screen just quickly. It was the document actually is there. It took a second to refresh. So if you're looking at the screen where Larry was before, I'm just going to note. You'll notice that there's now one timestamp 11:44, and if I open that, I should find that the document that Larry had signed, you'll see, is fully complete now with the signatures already in them. So it looked like there was a little lag probably from the environment to refresh the CRM status, but there's the document.
Great. Thanks for bailing me out. Appreciate that, Chris. So we do have a question out there, and that is, and hopefully we'll be able to answer this quickly, is asking about the implementation process and what does it take to implement some of these solutions. I guess I'll go ahead and start since I'm already talking. The AssureSign application has a downloadable plugin, if you will, that needs just a little bit of customization. You can get that from the Dynamics Marketplace. And with just a little bit of implementation training, which is free from AssureSign, you can get up and running. Most customers same day or next day for basic, and then deeper integration, with partners like Customer Effective may take it just a little bit longer than that. But just being a SaaS application moves pretty quickly. Rhett, some thoughts on the implementation process?
Sure. So our product will install in really less than 15 minutes. We call it provisioning, and we leverage the Microsoft Windows Azure data center is really the backbone of where our application is residing. So our clients do not need to install anything on their own servers or maintain that. So that makes the process pretty quick and painless. You just fill out a simple web form that places your order, and then we will provision you within just a few minutes. And all of the things that I was showing on the screen there about email marketing and web forms and landing pages and web tracking, things like that, are provisioned out into your system as CRM entities within that 15 minutes, and your own metadata is read into that so that your emails can contain all the personalization fields and so forth that you have put into CRM or custom fields within that same time frame. So that's what it's like to actually provision the CoreMotives product.
Yeah, and this is Chris from Xpertdoc. So on the Xpertdoc side, there's really a couple of small things. There's a web application that's running on IIS with a SQL Server backend, and we've already deployed. So we have a public cloud on Azure that's available. If someone wants to leverage that, you could, alternatively install on your own cloud or on-premise. On the CRM side, there's a CRM solution that gets deployed in CRM that provides, it's just deployed right from within your CRM settings, and it introduces all of that document output functionality that you saw. And then on the client side, the only thing that's required, and this is for the development of the templates, because we're leveraging Microsoft Word, there is a standard Microsoft Word add-in which brings the ability to do things like connect to data, build business logic, include all your content for your templates to be produced. And again, that's just a very small Word add-in. And similar to Redar installs, generally if it takes an hour, it's a bad day. So it's generally very lightweight and easy to deploy.
Great. Thanks, Chris. Brad, anything to add there from Customer Effective?
Yeah, our focus is really on Microsoft CRM and how all these technologies work together. So our focus typically is how do all these things work together and how do all these things benefit your overall CRM strategy. So that's kind of where we focus, and it'd be tough for us to be able to say that we can install Microsoft CRM in any given period of time, because every project is going to be different. And like I said, we're focused on kind of the bigger picture and making all these parts work together. So.
Great, thanks. We do have a question out there concerning email, and I'm assuming this is about the email send from AssureSign, so I'll go ahead and answer it. Can you configure it to send an email to both parties for each step in the process? And the answer to that is absolutely. Dealing with the demo today, we were using it in a single email box, which I was the recipient for both parties. But absolutely, we can do multiple signatories in series or parallel. The recipients of those emails, could be limitless, if you will. We also have the ability to bring people to web portals to fill out information and actually sign documents via web portal application. And I know we've done actually some deployments with Customer Effective where clients come into a web portal, actually sign their initial document or engagement document with the company, and automatically creates a CRM record. And then you're tracking that document along with the CRM record the entire way through the process. Another question was, can these, we've shown them all together today, but can they be implemented independently? And the answer to that question from AssureSign's perspective is yes. We believe that an electronic signature application is best deployed when it's integrated with another application that you're in all the time, like CRM. So we like to see it implemented with CRM, but it could also be deployed outside of CRM. And Brad?
Right. Just the same kind of thing is that our product can install independently. The only requirement for the CoreMotives solution is that you do own Microsoft Dynamics CRM. So it doesn't matter what version you're on. If you're on 2011, like we were showing, and any flavor of that as well, if you have the server on your own premise, or if Microsoft is hosting this for you and providing it to you as a subscription basis, our product snaps in the same way for all versions. And even CRM 4.0 and all the way back to CRM 3.0, we have clients and installations available with all those different versions. But we've been AssureSign and Xpertdoc and Customer Effective, all three of these partners of ours are very strategic to us and run the CoreMotives solution inside their own environments for their own marketing. So that's quite nice to be able to present this with everyone. Of course, the whole process works a little bit better together, but again, all these products can run independent of each other as well.
And another question was examples of some customers. Gosh, from an AssureSign perspective, we are so horizontal. We've had a lot of success in insurance. Just getting insurance policies, and there's a great linkage there with Customer Effective as well in the financial services and insurance space. We've got customers that range from Cabela's doing limited power of attorney to get your hunting license to the Anaheim Ducks selling their season tickets through Dynamics CRM and AssureSign. So it really kind of runs the gamut. The AssureSign application is exceptionally horizontal. Chris, maybe some examples of your customers?
Yeah, sure, and it's very much the same story. So, I mean, we do play very well in the financial services insurance space, and that's certainly a good focus for us. But again, we have whether it's public sector, governments, manufacturing, yeah, really across many horizontals. So yeah, it's hard to nail down just one. But
and that's kind of like CoreMotives, I guess. Lately, they've been very successful with a lot of the major sports teams trusting us. Anaheim Ducks being one of them as well. We share there with AssureSign, but to the New York Jets, the Seattle Seahawks, the Sounders, the New Jersey Devils, Washington Redskins, things like that. But those are some of the larger ones that may send out 200,000 or 300,000 emails as if we use that one channel of marketing as an example, and measure engagement all the way through the ticket purchase. And we did a press release yesterday on an integration with Ticketmaster to sort of support that whole process. But that's just kind of a sidebar there. A lot of financial services companies as well, but then plenty of smaller companies. Our product pricing starts out at $6,000 per year, so we can go all the way down to some smaller businesses that can get started with our product quickly and be able to get insight into different things that they're doing and leverage that throughout the whole marketing to sales process.
Yeah, and customer effective too. I think we do have a real big focus on financial services. Not to say that we don't do a whole lot of work with manufacturing, distribution, transportation, things like that, but we do have a big focus on financial services, and frankly, that's one of the reasons that we've worked so closely with Xpertdoc and AssureSign of late, because there are some really good financial service type of applications for e-signature and document management.
Great, thanks, Brad. And I don't see any more questions out there, so timing is probably good to turn back to Kathy to wrap things up.
Great. Thank you to all of our presenters today. We do have one last question for you. May we contact you after today? If you have found this interesting and wouldn't mind any of these gentlemen contacting you, if you could just answer the question, that would be helpful. And I'll pause for a moment while we get some answers. Again, don't forget that we do have handouts available. The icon that looks like 3 sheets of paper in the upper right-hand corner has more contact information as well. We do appreciate your taking the time to join us today, and a big thank you to all of our presenters, Brad, Brett, Chris, and Larry. Thank you very much for joining us as well. We have enabled our survey for this webcast. Momentarily, you should see a web slide join on your slide. The survey scores are on a scale from 1 to 5, with 5 being the highest score possible. Please enter your email address to access the survey questions, and please be sure to click submit prior to exiting. Again, we thank you for joining us, and have a good day.